It is our Upu Uiga Lasi crew back in the house again, in the whare, in the whale. Le whionga ia Leiataualesa, Renate Rivers, ia male sunga ia Maria, Afemata, back in studio for this week's edition of Upu Uiga Lasi. Welcome back, team. How's it going?
Malo lava soifua.
Halani.
Malo lava, ia, malo taua tai. I le nei aso, ia mese neva yaso I whiau mga luenga. Ia tātou tau mai le Aso Tofi. One more day to the weekend. How's the week been? Wa mai ia le neva yaso ma ngā luenga.
Feel lolo.
So lolo, yeah.
Feel lolo. It's
Yeah.
been a long week for me, man.
Yeah.
Ai, ora le vai aso fo. Yes, it's swing o kakali. We need to be like, oh, it was wonderful.
It was
great.
amazing.
It's been an okay week actually.
Malo long sai. Now, I have, I gave a bit of what I prefaced to our listeners this afternoon. E winga le tātou upu mo le aso, our word for the day being Tofa, for Upu Uiga Lasi, and open up the opportunity, as we do every week. Ia, mo nisi e fia whaasoa mai I le tātou upu le aso, ia mo le pora kalame o le Upu Uiga Lasi, ia pora kalame o le vaunga ngana, le sa amata mai le tātou pora kalame. So, getting right into it, Tofa, the word for the day, Tofa, T-O, Fa'a, with the whamamafa on the O and the A. Bit short on the descriptions for this week, sorry team, but hey, short is good, short and sweet. So Tofa mua. We'll go to Maria. Lasso ilo what in terms of the word Tofa and its use that you're familiar with.
I am familiar with one main meaning as in by, like Tofa Lofalini.
Sing it. You were just singing it.
Yeah, I was like
off air.
Tofa Tofa my faleni olea. Is it that song?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know all the lyrics. I just remember the first three.
I
That's
just forgot
okay.
all the lyrics too.
Yeah.
Singing.
how I was
When you
like,
started, I was
wait.
like, oh.
Yeah. But I
Nice.
didn't know it was by.
Yeah,
That's
goodbye. Yeah, Tofa, I feel well. Tofa soifua. Yeah, it's funny how over the years, well, I don't even know how long since, but we've turned it Tofa into just fa.
But
Yeah,
know?
I don't know anyone that says Tofa anymore.
Yeah,
They're like fa or fala, yeah.
yeah, no one really says Tofa unless you're like saying Tofa soifua
yeah,
to like a whiwhi au or something.
true. It's like you jump straight from tofa soifua to fa.
Fa, and then when you do say Tofa, everyone
People
thinks,
like, huh?
since when?
What?
Or you say to elderly. That's about it.
Yeah,
Respectfully, but
yeah.
Do you say that to your family? The elders in your family? Tofa? Or is it just fa?
I don't even say fa. I'm like, I say it in English.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm like, bye, I love you. Like literally.
Yeah.
I do the usual, yeah, fa. Yeah, fa.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Because I
5
don't know,
times on the phone.
like when you say fa, like you're supposed to be closer. Like I thought fa is like abrupt and rude. Like fa, yeah, get lost, like kind of thing.
Yeah, depending on who you're talking to,
Yeah.
like depends on how close you are. Like I had a friend who I won't say on air, but Renate, I know you know, who I was once talking to her on just a casual call, and then I
Should have kept this non-binary. I was talking to them.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to them, and then I said, "Oh yeah, okay, well, yeah, fast we fought," and she stopped, and she was like, "Why are you being so forward?" I said, "Hey, I'm just, you stood on the phone, like,
Yeah.
fast we fought." And they're like,
Yeah.
quite sweet, maloka.
Because what was she used to? If that's too formal for her.
Oh, just far, but out of habit, because
Yeah.
at the time I might have been having some important calls, and then kovalo, and then I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, fast we fought." She's like, "Sorry, since when?" So.
And I feel like it's better to do that than the opposite of you're
Yes.
saying something and it was yeah, fa, and then you realize, oh my gosh, that was so rude. I should have
Yeah.
just cut it short. Like the person you're talking to.
Yeah, standard Tofa, nice, farewell, goodbye. The other common use for tofa, or understanding of the word tofa, o le upu whaaloalo lea mo le moe, or a respectful term for sleep. Now, this always, upu whaaloalos can sometimes be really difficult to put into a sentence.
I was going to ask you to put it because I'm used to but to say tofa in that context to go to sleep, how would you?
In my mind, the easiest way I would use it, and one which I have used quite often, is when I call someone and they're asleep, and I'll call them in an apologetic way for waking them. I'll be like, "Whamalulu atu wo whalawelawe atu o e tofa." I have apologies for calling while you were asleep.
Is there like a less formal way to say it? Like, can't you just say no? Like, you still use tofa, but like how he used that, couldn't you just say
you could just say moe, like
what tofa or alu tofa, like like the way you said it. That's
you mean cutting down that whole.
You could say.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just say moe if you feel that comfortable.
No, I like what you said. I just need a
in a cut down way. Like, say if I was talking to an uncle or a fellow older chief that I know we have a good rapport with, I could probably, like half casually, half jokingly be like, "Oh, oi kofa," like, are you sleeping? Rather than, because if I was to say, "Oh, e moi," then it's kind of like, ooh.
I think also in the tone to it, because you can still use the formal words to a mate.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll ring up a friend, and you find this a lot of Samoans, they exaggerate. Like you'll be talking to them or something, and they'll be like, "Yellow masiofu,"
they'll
like
grease it on.
And then if someone rings you like that and says, so it's like it's still sort of using the polite way of speaking, but in a jokey way.
In a jokey way,
like,
yeah.
Samoans are so jokey.
Yeah, that's why I need to level up my language, my Samoa, so I can get the jokes.
You get there.
I'm just like laughing along with those.
Yeah,
like
it'll come. So yeah, tofa that's another use of tofa, or le upu whaaloalo, or le moe, respectful term for sleep. Leiataualesa, another use for the word tofa that you might.
So yeah, I know we were talking about it just briefly before we came on air, but the salutations, I suppose, or how you would address a makai, or
yes,
for instance, susunga, afionga, and then there's tofa.
Yes.
So it's usually those are for the speaking, the orators.
Yeah. When referring to an orator chifa, actually, when referring to a mataiali'i or a high chief, you say o lau afionga. When referring to la fale, an orator chief, lau tofa, po lau whetalainga. That's one that I should probably know this of all of them. This is the one that I should have put down on the list. But
it's the only one I could have had on. I was like, yeah.
But no, you're right. So lau tofa, when referring
I've heard
to
of that one.
Yes, that's a good one too. And on that note, one of the things that I too am taking a language class at the moment with le Tofa Yambusu.
Are you doing it at CPL?
Yes, yeah.
I'm doing one at MIT.
Yeah.
Which is how I know the.
Oh, wow.
I recognize the Tofa, but
yeah, and
chipping away.
He was one of the things Musu was sharing was sometimes it's hard to tell. Like you don't know whether someone is an afionga or whether someone is a tofa or a susunga. And the lesson that we took away or learnt was, when in doubt, just susunga.
Yeah.
When in doubt, just susunga. Just in case you tofa someone and then you get tofa. No. That's just a side note on that one. Another use of tofa, and this is one of my favorite ones when we were preparing Samoan Language Week content for social media, and we had a word for the day. Tofa was one of them.
I was like, I don't remember this. No,
Do you follow our Instagram? Why do you not follow our
I'm
Instagram?
fucking no, but yeah, what was it?
So Tofa, when referring to foresight or wisdom, prudence is the word that Seuli used to
Prudence.
yeah.
That's a nice word. That's what Tofa is.
And Tofa is when referring to the foresight or wisdom of a high chief or a matayali. So e Tofa ia te mali'i. And for an orator, there's a different word for their foresight or their wisdom, which is uta. Tofa maliuta. So let me go quickly while we have the time.
It's interesting he chose prudence, and I'm going to be thinking about that one because I guess it is related. Because when I think of Tofa, it's like wisdom. It's more wisdom is in my head.
To make
Making good decisions, but having that knowledge
yeah,
to draw from to make the good decision.
to make the right call.
Yeah.
What did we write for Tofa?
I want an example now too.
Tofa. So this is straight from Instagram. Pimi Samoa. Tofa. The word was Tofa Mamau. So wisdom, foresight. Tofa Mamau refers to the ability to think deeply, reflect wisely, and see beyond the present moment. It is often used to describe someone who possesses foresight and sound judgment, especially in leadership, family, and cultural settings. In Samoan society, Tofa Mamau is a highly valued trait, particularly among Matai, chiefs, orators, elders, and leaders who are called to make decisions, not just for the now, but for the generations to come.
Yeah.
And so on. Yeah. So that's another use of.
What is the opposite of mamau? Like titi, or no?
Lata
Lata.
Like, so can you? I know this might be like whack, but could you have like?
Lata.
Yeah. Could you, like, you know, you're talking about wisdom, and then you add mamau to say long, and then now,
yeah.
like, so you're still using Tofa in the context, but what if you're saying like the opposite?
What I've heard is, which someone has said to me at some point in my career, Papa'u Tofa, which means it's like it's a shortcoming.
The shallow.
It's shallow. Your thinking or your wisdom is shallow, or you can't see far. So I guess that would be the
Opposite.
opposite of
Yeah.
what you're.
It'd be like the song Deep and Wide. No, not Deep and Wide. But yeah, like
Why have I not heard this song?
Sunday
No,
school song. Deep and wide. Yeah,
I
wouldn't
know
sing.
that song.
But yeah, and it would be like distance and depth, lack of depth.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
opposite.
I feel like I would think of shallow as a very good way. Like you don't have that great a pool of knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, it's quite a cutting.
Yeah, the fact that
insult.
Straight to the heart.
When this
That
person
so far is
wrote
very.
this to me, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
but did they say it
Quit. Quit my
to
job.
encourage
It's not a
you?
nice. Yeah.
No, it was not nice.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
didn't like what I wrote, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. So that would be the use of Tofa in that
Is
kind of mysterious way.
I know we're saying foresight, but like also hindsight, or is that something? Is that a different word?
Hindsight would come after, and
Because like hindsight
Looking
is like
back.
if I had known what I'd known now, like then I would have made it. Like then I would have made this decision.
I feel like that all contributes towards being wise as well, like having that pool of knowledge and experiences to draw from to make this good decision. I almost slipped up on decision there. Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
It's a deep one.
Let's stick to the Tofa because we're starting to wade into the other waters that are
No, that's really deep.
I'm a bit scared about, Mary.
And I think the last one on our list, if there is no other kind of descriptions, Tofa can also be something like an iatonga that is gifted during whalolongas or gift giving at certain whalawelaves, when they ta'i a sua or a whatamali'i, when you see the girl with the coconut and the money and
Or the Coke bottle.
or the Coke bottle, or the red label, or the wine,
all that.
or so that process, the tofa is normally like either the last or the second to last part of that gift giving, which is the big iatonga that they, so that when that's given, they say oro tofa lenei. As to the origins of why they call that ia tofa, Seuli would probably be our best point of view, unless Leiataualesa.
No, I don't want to touch on that.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
I don't know enough about that one.
And get something wrong in that sense. But I do know that is the tofa can be given with the whatamali'i, with the sua, with the Coke bottle, and the tray with the bisupo in that, and the box of bisupo, or it can just be given as a standalone gift. They will,
And the tofa is the iatonga.
The tofa is the iatonga. So
and it can be any size. Or does it have to be a massive one?
Normally a big one. So the small one, and we could probably talk about this in another episode about the sua and stuff, but in brief, when they take the pusupi supo, they will also deliver that with a smaller iatonga, which they call a ufitai, which is just to cover that part of the whalolonga, and then at the end they'll have the iole tofa, which is the big 50-meter one that 7, 8 to 10 people have to carry across the floor. That's referred to as the iole tofa.
I thought you were about to ask, what are the measurements?
I was like, what's
The yards, the cubic meters of the...
Now, I've seen a tofa, but it was for my grandpa's funeral, and I've never seen, like, the fact that they had to carry sticks, like, I was actually shocked. Now, I've seen ikongas, but not as big.
Yeah.
And like, the whole village came, and I was like, what are these massive ass ikongas? So, tofa.
Yeah.
I'll keep that.
So that's...
also,
yes.
To go off track, no, I was telling Renate how I heard the word sui when I went to the inauguration.
Nice. Please do share. Please.
Yeah, so I went to the Auckland Council Mayor and Councillors, and we have 4 Pacifica councillors, and Alpha Lapina, Lotu Fuli, Josephine Bartley, and Victoria Short. And Josephine Bartley and Lotu Fuli did the declaration in Samoan, and they did a speech about who they are, and I just recognized Wa'ule Sui or something about the Sui, but I knew that when we did that session, that they were talking about how they've been elected and they were the Sui, and I was just sitting there like,
I know that.
Real world application.
I know, that's
That's cool.
And I was
That's
like,
cool.
I mean, it was a cool moment, but I was like, yes, just recognizing these moments in real life.
That's cool, and I think that's the whole part of it. As I was sharing to our listeners earlier today, and for the past couple of weeks, the program that we're doing is we're not trying to teach anyone anything. It's about sharing and being able to apply it in real life and recognize it in real life when it does happen, and feeling good about it too. Making the Samoa language a bit more of a safe space for us to embrace.
Exactly. One step at a time.
Yeah, thanks.
See, now I've got to play John Sparks now. But that brings us to the end of our porkalame. O le Upu Uiga Lasi, mo le nei afiafi, mo le atuleanga whaftai. Ele whionga a Leiataualesa Renate. Mesele tu fine Maria. Thank you for coming in every week. It's been really enjoying it so far, and we shall see what our word is for next week.